Anyway, so continue with our. So next we have here, companies are trying to find ways to generate revenue in any means possible, but at what cost? So in the case of BMW here, they were fined by they were fined $18 million in the United States over inflated sales. Okay, so why go this route? Why try to inflate? So let's take a closer look here. So according to the article here, so the BMW in the North America region is found to have provided inaccurate, misleading information while raising $18 billion in corporate bond offerings. So the United States securities regulators charged BMW, the company, for inflating its retail sales volume to its investors and fining them by as much as $18 million only in a settlement. Now, question here is, what's the reasoning behind it? Why would companies inflate their sales? Now, obviously, if you're a publicly listed company, you're beholden to the shareholders that if you want investors to invest in your company, you have to make your business bottom line, your ledger look attracting to the investors. And in one of the ways to attract investor is to, you know, smudge the figures or inflate the figures as in the case here. But the question here is up to what extent? Is it a long-term strategy that BMW can get away with? Should they get away with it? Right? With all the policies, with all the safeguards that it is in the government agencies, whether in the United States or in Europe, what does this send to other companies? That is this allowed? Should this be a common practice for other companies to follow suit? And as in previous weeks that we've been discussing regarding penalizing company, whether it's in the millions or even billions, they're still operating as it is, and will there be any significant changes that will occur? And to go into more detail, from 2015 to 2019, a reserve BMW relied on reserve of unreported car sales that it used to meet targets regardless when the sales took place, which is kind of alarming. And it also stated that BMW also accurately designated some vehicles as sold when they had not been. So again, fictitious sales. And adjusted its sales reporting way back in 2015 all the way to 2017 to meet targets or back excess sales for future use. Again, it goes back to the idea of inflating so that it would look positively for investors and they will be enticed to invest in said company, which is, obviously it can only work for the short term, and in the long run, eventually the investors or people or regulators will see for what you are, and there should be steep penalties for companies, big companies, for implementing such strategies like this one. And according to the US, so there are companies trying to access the US market to raise capital and have an obligation to provide accurate information to an investor, which obviously they did not take that into consideration. And through its repeated disclosure failures, BMW misled investors about its sales performances and customer demand for the BMW vehicles while raising capital in the US. And the key here is raising capital. Obviously, it is able to raise more capital, to invest more, to pay more for their top management, or even through their shareholders, which is kind of inflated if you think about it. And even though they are already able to pay a settlement here, guess what BMW said? It was pleased to resolve the matter. But the point of the matter is, how can it be resolved if the point of the matter here is that big companies are able to do this and get away scot-free, with just a fine? What happened to those management people who allowed it to proliferate? Should they be penalized or even removed from managerial positions and moving forward to other companies, so that it will be a stark learning lesson for companies that they are not allowed, or it's unethical to do such things, which we'll be talking about in another company later on.